Hey everybody, welcome in to farming. Farming is going to be big. It's going to be a big point of difference for a lot of people, and it's going to be very important for who you're going to be choosing to go for. Now that this game is good 6 months, coming up to 6 months and 5 months, there are a lot more teams added. We have had our first legendary event, the Frozen event. Now we've got our second legendary event, which is the BH6 legendary event. They both bring a lot of free-to-play available farming to it. But there are also a lot of other events as well that you kind of want to be prepared for. So we're going to talk about what you should be prioritizing when you first start the game, and then if you've already been playing for a while, where you want to set your priorities. And this is going to apply to pretty much everybody unless you are purchasing every single character that comes out and then listen in and hear what other people have to do. So what I'm going to say is, for new players who start playing this game, when you first start out, you start seeing characters. You get Ariel, Mickey, Sully, and then you early on you get Yzma and Demona and Syndrome, I believe, and you get them early on. Now, for these early characters, honestly, don't invest too much into them. Only level them up and gear them enough for the first like 20 or so levels. That's going to get you through basic story modes and farming modes, and you're quickly going to find better characters. Now what I will say is, you're going to want to have enough for your villains mode, you're going to want to have enough for your heroes mode. But as soon as you start getting your hands on better characters, go straight for them. Now, as far as Ariel, you will need her in the future, as long as along with other Oceanic characters for important events such as the Stitch Tower, such as the Speedstone event, and to get Moana and Maui, which are probably some of the big Oceanic crew. But aside from that, you don't want to invest too much into them. She's not going to be your main team. She's mainly going to be used for events, and likewise with these other characters. So who you want to start prioritizing is, as soon as you get to this next stage, Hiro is going to take you a long way. You can use him from low star level all the way up. My Hiro is currently level 5. My star level 5. I've been using him since star level 2, and he's been amazing as long as you gear him up. So here's going to be a character that you can use and not regret. Plus, when his event comes around, you can then farm him more and farm the other characters more. But pretty much you're not going to regret him. But also, as soon as you get to this far in the event, I would kind of recommend, you're going to have two choices that you can either go for as free-to-play farms, as I mentioned in the beginning, Frozen or BH6. They are probably going to be your best bet for a good, solid team to go after. And there's two big differences with this team. Now, on one hand, you got Frozen. Now, Frozen characters like going for Sven and going up ahead for Olaf. Now, don't be discouraged by level 30 and things like this. Honestly, if you get Hiro, you're going to breeze through all sorts of levels that are well higher than you, just with the characters that you do have. So he is worth picking up and gearing up and just leaving in your main crew, even if you don't go after BH6. So take him up to a decent star, like 2, 3, 4 star. There's not going to take too many tokens to get him there, but he is definitely worth it. Now, back to the differences for Frozen. Going after Sven and getting him to a usable stage is what I'd recommend doing with your grand campaign. Now, okay, Hiro first, definitely by priority, because he's going to get you further. If you want to go frozen route, I should say, go for Sven. Invest into Sven after you've unlocked Hiro and using him. Invest into Sven, get him up. Then go for Olaf, get him up. Then you need to take up the characters in here evenly as you level and get them to 5-star, 6-star, 7-star. You'll be able to unlock Elsa at 5-star, which is going to be the core of the team, what's going to help you survive and wreck and destroy. Then level them up all up evenly. Use your daily gem refreshes, or use your gems daily on refreshing your energy, on gold energy first, your yellow energy first, and then purple energy if you have extra. And what that's going to do is help you level up faster, but it's also going to help you get more of these characters and tokens to progress further. Now, also with the Frozen crew is that they are in multiple spaces in the Heroes and Villains campaign. So in Heroes, you've got Kristoff here early on, which you can start farming, and also in Villains, which he is very early on, and you can start farming as well. So he's at the very start of that as well. So as soon as you're into early 20s, boom, you're in there. You can start farming him. You can get him ready. But also, we have Anna. Anna's in both as well. And yes, she is a little bit higher up here. If you're getting Hero, you should be able to, well, not in Villains mode. But in the Heroes mode, you'll be able to access her earlier. But you can also get both her and Kristoff from another location, which we are going to be touching on very soon. But you can get Anna earlier into Heroes mode, and especially when you're using Hero and the other ones to get this far, you'll be able to get these characters and unlocking them a whole lot earlier. But also, these characters are in the exchange. Now, Kristoff is here in the club exchange, where you can start picking him up nice and early and get him ready. And Max, he's going to probably be your best tank in the game if you're running Frozen characters. Hands down, he will help to carry your team. As well as here in the tournament exchange, you can go and get the likes of Anna. So you can use your currencies that you're getting in from all these different modes for spending onto these characters, and you can this can help you progress your team so fast and get them ready for the event as soon as it comes around. Currently, the events are on around about a 2-month cycle, which is getting slightly longer every time. It used to be a 1-month cycle, then it went about a 1.5-month cycle, then we're at the 2-month. So I'll expect to go be about a 2.5 month, because they're adding about 1 to 2 new events in every month. So the cycle is getting longer between the events. That is good and bad, is that if you're ready for the event to come around, you just got to wait a little bit longer before you can get the characters from it. But the good side about it is that you're going to have more time between the events to actually get your characters ready. So that's going to be a bonus, and I would say the one bonus for the 2 bonuses for Frozen is they're farmable in multiple locations, and you can pick them up in all these multiple locations. Now, the other bonus is they take a whole lot less to invest into them. There's no gear requirements on the event itself, and there are only 4 characters to get. Whereas, now we're going to move ahead into, before we move ahead into Big Hero 6, the Frozen crew, although it used to be the most meta, everybody would use it and just destroy teams, now it's kind of just an average meta, in the meta. That being said, Frozen hybrid teams are still very good. And I'm just going to say Elsa as a character is still probably one of the best characters in the game. So she is still like stupidly, amazingly powerful. And you're still not going to regret getting her if you go in and level her up and invest into her. So I will say that much. Now, with that, we do come to the next people, which is the Big Hero 6. Now, we do have the event here, and what is required with all of these, you need the full crew. You need the full crew, all 5 of them, for this event. So that's 1 extra character. But also for this last stage of the event, you need them all to be at a maximum, a set gear tier of gear tier 6. And what that is going to do, 6 or is it 7? Let me just check here quickly. gear tier 6. So you're going to need them to be at gear level 6, all 5 characters, to get Baymax and unlock him as a 7-star. You can unlock him at 5-star, full crew 5-star, which 5-star is attainable and reachable. But as far as the farm goes for these characters, they are all in multiple places as well, so it is a decent farm. They are tech characters, so you'll be able to use these characters to progress into other modes, say like getting Gizmo Duck will be easy with these. So while you're waiting for Baymax, if the Gizmo Duck event comes around, you'll probably be able to unlock him and use him if you want to while you're waiting for Baymax. Or you can just use Fred as the tank, since you're going to be aiming for him at gear level 6 anyway. You might as well just fully invest it into him. Now, they are available in, as we've already seen earlier, Hiro is here early on in Grand Campaign, and it's good because he's going to be able to carry you through all the different modes, but also he is in late game. He is in very much here at the highest stages. When you're getting to late game, he is here to farm as well. Now, all the other characters, so we've got Fred here, we've got Fred very early on, we have Honey Lemon, very early on as well. All very, like, you'll be able to get these in like the first week or so of playing. And then you're going to have Wasabi, which is a little bit later, but when you're getting Hiro, as I've said, you'll be able to push on up a whole lot earlier and get him. So all of these characters are very farmable very early on, and then the same in villains mode. So all of these characters are very farmable. Fred here, not quite so early on, so it's going to take you a little bit longer to get these in villains. And villains will be a bit more difficult because all of these characters that you're investing into are heroes. But that's going to touch on what we're going to be touching on next after Big Hero 6. So when you're progressing, there are multiple ways of farming these characters, except for Go-Go. Go-Go is the only one that is only in one location here in the Grand Campaign, and it's a little bit later on, but you should be able to reach it and become attainable within a couple of weeks of play. Now, she is here, and yet again, as long as you focus on these characters, use all your yellow energy, use your buying those refreshes daily, the 50 gem refreshes daily, getting yourself all of the characters available, progressing your level, doing that as much as possible, you should be able to level up and get there. Now, with this, just make sure you stagger your farms, take them up evenly up to level 5 if you are star level 5 if you are going to go for them. Now, that being said, you're also going to want to make these pretty much your main team and gear level them to 6. Unlike the Frozen team, which you can just gear Kristoff and Anna and have those as your main core, and the other ones can be lower level if you wanted. But moving forward, Big Hero 6 is amazing, probably going to be super high meta. Honey Lemon is super amazing in the Big Hero 6 crew and both Hero. Those are probably the two biggest picks out of the lot. But if you're going for them, just go for them and be ready for the next time it comes around in, say, just over 2 months. I want to say just over 2 months because I expect it to be extended slightly, as I mentioned, more events being added in. Now, with this, it's all very well and good saying go for one of those two teams. Because they're legendary events, the characters are going to be super amazing. The teams have so much synergy working together. As they are, you can put in other helpful teams, plug and play as you go for other useful characters. So now we're going to move into useful characters for farming. We're going to start with villains because, as we've seen, both those two teams are heroes, and we're going to need to progress into villains campaign mode, as well as some other game modes like Scrooge's Money Bin, where you're going to need to use villains or downtown villains to get more gold, and gold is going to be the big heavy resource that you're going to need for leveling up all your characters and leveling up your star levels and things like that. So we're going to be talking about some of these downtown villains. Now, I recommend going for some of these downtown villains because A, you want to be able to progress into the villains mode. You want to be able to get Zurg from downtown villains and using them to unlock Zurg, but you're also going to be able to use them in the Scrooge money bin to then get more gold to progress your game and leveling and everything to do with it. So the very early on picks that you can reach and attainable. Syndrome. Use Syndrome and Demona. You get them very early on, level them a little bit, just enough to progress yourself, get them to like 3-4 stars. It's easy enough to reach those stages. Invest into Big Bad Wolf as soon as you can get him. He is going to be able to carry you through the game. He is a decent hitter throughout the game, and he just got better at late game, which he kind of fell off at late game, but now he's just got that little bit of a pep back into his kit that is going to make him decent and a good character. Now, Dr. Facilia, he's going to become available in, say, the tournament exchange and late farming into Grand Campaign, but it's all going to be relatively easy to get to once you unlock Hiro. You'll be able to get him here and unlock him, and all you need to do is unlock him and get him to a decent star level to progress in some of these modes. He is going to help you. Dr. Facilia will help you, just like Hiro, progress so far in villains and tower modes and all sorts with his mass healing that he does. So him as a character, if you want to look at any of these characters I'm mentioning, I've got showcases on most of them, but he does have a passive here that is going to give healing to your full team, AoE healing, which can just carry you. So and in saying that, that is how you can get through weaker characters as well in lots of these modes. So he is by far worth the farming. Now, we are also going to have a Chunk. So Chunk is going to be using the Toy Story Villains, the Toy Story Villains event when it comes around, and he's going to be able to use to get Big Baby and then Lotso. But he is a very decent tank, and he's probably going to be better than going after Pete or the Clown or Randall. So he's probably going to be a better option to go for rather than the others, and he is early farmable in both heroes and villains campaign. So you can make progress very early on and have characters that can help to progress you from Chunk being available very early on, and just prioritize your energy throughout the day, reclaiming all your energy, buying the 50 gem refreshes, and it should progress your level, should progress your characters good enough that you can then move forward and hopefully be successful within your games. Now that being said, you can find them both early heroes and early villains, and I was just in heroes before, and that did not help me mentioning. But here we go, Chunk is there as well. So you can both reach these ones very early on, and they are gonna be super helpful for getting. Now for those modes. Now outside of that, there are two main other reasons or characters that I would be going for and moving forward for, or three actually. You're gonna need a mythical character for progressing in events. Now that can be your Olaf if you're going for the Frozen crew. Now, one other bonus that I didn't say about Frozen is that going for the Frozen crew first is going to help you progress through tower modes, and because they are not one set faction like Tech is all downtown heroes, all Tech. Frozen is both Kingdom and Wilds and Mythical. They have a little bit of everything sprinkled on in there that you can get through and progress all the different tower modes because of them. And that is definitely going to help you a lot. Now, outside of those ones that I've mentioned, we do have some top characters that are very good characters that can be key characters to move on, and they were all once tournament exclusive characters. That is Hades, Shan. Both of them. Hades is a mythical character. Shan is Kingdom character. Now, Kingdom used to be like the core free-to-play go-to team. Now, you can also pick up Shan and run him into your Frozen team if you're using that, if you're going to be going for Frozen. And you can use him to be Speed Boost Anna. and then she can help speed boost the rest of the team, and likewise, so you can kind of use it that and have a little bit of a synergy and combo team with that. And then there's going to be extra kingdom characters, and you need it is also that they are both villains, and they are going to help you with the villains campaign mode if you are going to be investing into them a bit. So all you need to do, I'm just poking out these characters who are going to be great and good and great investments that are going to take you further in different game modes and help you out along the way with your progression of the game. Now, with that, it's kind of best that you just pick one avenue, focus on one main team that you're going to go for, and then the other teams, just take them up just enough to make them usable, and all the other characters, just ignore them for now, honestly. Focus on your main characters, go for that progression. You will be picking up character tokens from chests, from all sorts of other places, and that's okay. You can get your characters from your campaign chest, your loyalty chest, but I will say, hold your campaign chest until you are like level 45 to 50, because you'll be getting so much more gear. You'll be getting so much better gear from high level chests, and it's only going to take you a few weeks to get there. So although it seems like you want to open them and wait, just hold on. You don't really need the other things from there. So just hold on for trying to farm characters through there. Open up your ultimate chest that you get from Conquest and the likes, but just focusing on your farms from elsewhere and likewise. Now, as far as early farms on any other characters, I would say pretty much I would only get the characters who you need to get and make them usable. You can get Jack Sparrow or Hook. I would say like the difference here, like Jack Sparrow is a decent character. He used to be top tier, very good with his charm, but now his kit has just kind of been overpowered by other newer characters. So I would go for the cheaper Hook option just to have an option there as an Oceanic character if you need one. But if you also need an Oceanic character, go for the bubbles and the heroes. So you can go for bubbles here in Grand Campaign if you need, but you're also going to be going to set your priorities. Set your priorities of who you want and where you're going to be going for. Because if that is not an option, I would say just get the other characters who you need. Like pick up Hook and Jack Sparrow if you need, or Ariel, to a minimum level to get through whatever stages that you need them to get through. Now, Gantu and Bubbles are both amazing characters. They're going to help you with the Speedstone. They're going to help you with Oceanic characters, with the towers. They're going to help you with the Moana event and all sorts of things like that, as well as the Stitch event. So just here, which has just ended, you can check out my Stitch event videos and character showcases on them. But they are amazing characters. Bubbles is one of the best supports in the game, but also and Hiro are too. So set your priorities, go for them, and hopefully that works. I'd say Kingdom, until we get newer characters, is kind of going to fall off the wagon a little bit, because they used to be viable because they were the fastest characters. They were the fastest characters. They could give slow. Now we have characters like BH6 that are faster and can set up protections before they get off, and lots of other characters that now set off slows as well. So they are not as, they don't have the impact that they used to have. So if you're starting afresh, go for the others. Now let's have a little talk about late game. If you're a late game farm, you've already invested into, say, Frozen or Kingdom, I'd say finish off Frozen, get them done and dusted. If you have still got Kingdom, Shan is not going to be a bad investment just because some of the rest of the Kingdom team has fallen off. He is still going to be amazing. Now, he'll only get better as well when more Kingdom characters are added to the game. So there is always hope in that. Genie is still a great character, and he is only going to get better at super high end games. So maybe that will be the lift that Kingdom needs. Although that's now going to be locked behind the newest, latest gear tiers, which is going to be super hard to get at the moment. So that is all something to take into consideration. Now, as far as where are we looking? We are looking for our heroes mode. Now, as far as all of these characters go, and whoever you want to set for farming, whether you want to go for Frozen or Big Hero 6, both are great options. Just know Frozen is an easier event to progress through, one less character, more ways to farm them besides just energy, whereas Big Hero 6 is probably a newer set of characters. They are probably going to be better in the long run and probably a whole lot faster with the hero lead. So, and speed is king in this game. So we are going to see the metas changed up a whole lot, but pick your choices, make your choices. Definitely, I think Big Bad Wolf is a good option for that early downtown villain and just villain characters to go for. So they are a good bonus if you go for, say, early villains to farm, just so that you've got some. Would be either if you want to go for Demona, Chunk, and then Big Bad Wolf, Syndrome, and that should get you a decent amount, and then maybe pick up like Hook, just so you've got an Oceanic character. That will probably do you well. Now, hopefully, this has become helpful to some of you guys. Now, there is a couple of questions is that people are wanting to know, do you give up on the Frozen farm for Big Hero 6 if you're already an experienced player, been playing, you're not yet finished your Frozen crew? Finish them off. Honestly, if you've already started, finish them off, go for them. Next time the event comes around, you will be ready. Make sure you're ready. You'll get Elsa, invest into her, done. When you're finished your Frozen farm, then I would move on to the Big Hero 6 crew. And just, you're going to get the most out of these characters, and at least they will be able to help you into other game modes and other things like that. And then finish off, just set your priorities. If you need to know which characters you want to go for, which events they are locked behind, there are other events like, say, Zurg, which you're going to need downtown villains for. There is going to be Gizmo, which you're going to need tech characters, or downtown heroes for, not tech characters. Some tech characters. But also there is going to be other events like Maui and Moana, where you are going to need Oceanic characters. There is going to be the Stitch Tower, which you need to have Gantu, Bubbles, and a mythical character. There is tower modes that you're going to need a range of the characters, and that's kind of where Frozen helps out. Pretty much if you get Frozen and Hero, you can progress through pretty much all the towers. And set your priorities. Set your priorities for whoever you want to go for, whoever is looking the best for you. Now, Hades is very expensive gear-wise, so if you're going to go for him, just be forewarned that he is expensive. He's going to take a lot of gear for a mythical character. Now, there are some other great mythical characters if you are wanting to have some to farm for, and those would be Sally. If you want Sally, she is a great character. She will help you. She will be another character that helps you get far. She helps you get far with her kit, being able to blind and sleep and the likes. So she can help you progress into other modes and events that might be pushing you if you've only got one mythical character. Then you've also got, if you're going for Frozen, there's Olaf. Use him, boom. You've already got a mythical character there, you'll be sorted. The Onward crew, the Onward brothers, you just need the brothers themselves so you can farm for them. They are both farmable. If you want them, they are both decent. Barley is a very underrated character. You can use them both to get Manticore. So all of these things will help you in the long run. You can go for, say, the Lion King characters, although they have heavily fallen off their useful list, which is kind of sad. And you only need the Lion King characters themselves to go and progress further for that. The Aladdin events, you need Aladdin to get Jasmine, Jasmine to get Genie, Genie to get Jafar. Now, Jafar is amazing, and with a full speed Kingdom team, when he gets full speed stones, he is very, very fast and can be very useful. And paired with Anna and the likes, they can be great. But then you also need to know you need speed stones. The key there is you need speed stones. So you can get basic speed stones from any other stone events, just getting the stone currency with whatever characters and factions you are going after, and then just purchasing the stones from the exchanges. But if you want the bigger ones, you kind of need to have Oceanics. So there is a big tie-up with this game of who you want to go for, where you want to go. Set your main team, go after them, finish them, set your priorities, go after other characters and other factions that are going to progress in you, which other next event you prioritize as most important. So go after that. You need Elastigirl to get the other Incredibles, things like that. So if you want to get Incredibles, Dash is still amazing, although he's going to get a little bit worse when more people get Stitch. So I would say go after Stitch. He is one of I'm focusing now on getting my Gantu and my Bubbles up. I'm going after them rather than going after Big Hero 6, because I'm going to find that Stitch will also counter Big Hero 6 a little bit. And I'd rather have those Oceanic characters for the Speedstone event and the likes. So those are my priorities. Now with you guys, make your choices, see which events you like. Now, is it worth going after a character just because you like them? If it makes you happy and you just want this game to make you happy, then do that. If it's going to make you happy to lose or to not be able to win, if not winning and if that's not important to you, then if winning is important to you, make sure you probably go after some of the better characters and go after the characters that will get you more rewards for their work. So that's kind of what I'd recommend. But hey, play it how you want to play it. These are just some tips for farming of the relevance of all these other characters. Toy Story is another one. You kind of need to have, they get staggered in the way they release, but they are super unusable at the moment. They're nowhere near good enough. They need a massive buff and just not worth going after, honestly. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully there is a little bit of clarity for some of these event characters and things to go for. And I can't wait for more characters and more things to come forward in the future, more ways to get everything. I will always end this by saying one thing. This Big Hero 6 event is not over. I kind of wouldn't be surprised if we do see the other characters, maybe after the event pops up, maybe show up in exchange, or we have another little exchange refresh, because we haven't had an exchange refresh since Kristoff got added into here and Anna got added into here, which was 3 or more months ago now. And I think it would be good for these shops to get a refresh with different characters and newer characters in here, so people can then help with their farms, especially with more characters coming to the game. So that's something I'd like to see. I hope we see that maybe at the end of the event, after the event, whenever into the future. But whatever that looks like, I'd love to see more characters added to those things more regularly, that people just have more choice. So there is that. If you want to see updates on that in exchanges, I do make videos on what best to purchase from exchanges and maximizing all your different currencies. So stay tuned for that if you haven't seen those already. But hopefully this has helped. This has been a super long video. So if you're stuck through to the end, hopefully this has been helpful for you all. and whew, I'm ready to give my voice a rest. So let me know who you guys are farming. Let me know what your guys' priorities are in the comments below, and I can't wait to hear from some of you guys.